Okay, so we already have discussed the basic MOSFET structures in the previous slide. So it's like these are the symbol of MOSFETs. We have two types of MOSFETs. In one is enhancement type, another is depletion type, and another category is according to the channel doping. So it's like NMOS and PMOS. So you have NMOS enhancement type, then you have NMOS depletion type, and then you have PMOS enhancement type, and you have PMOS depletion type. So these are the typical symbols. Here it is shown. So these are the symbols that we will be using in the course. So this is the basic structure of a MOSFET. You have 2n plus region, which is known as source and drain. Then you have a gate terminal, which is on top of an oxide, and this is your channel region. This part is your channel region. You have another terminal called bulk or substrate, which we generally keep grounded. Okay, we put a ground in this terminal. Then we have discussed different transfer characteristics. That means IDS versus VGS curve for enhancement PMOS, depletion PMOS, enhancement NMOS, and depletion NMOS. So in depletion, basically even at 0 VGS you have some current. So there is always a channel in the device. So in order to turn it off, what you do, you apply a minus VT for NMOS. Apply a minus VT. However, for PMOS you apply a plus VT so that you can turn that device off. So these are the typical characteristics, and I also have said what is the expression of threshold voltage. This VT, threshold voltage, defines when the device will turn on. So somebody say turn on voltage, somebody say threshold voltage, and it is a function of QMS, that is work function difference between gate and semiconductor. Then another term is phi f, that is Fermi energy, and the third term is Q ox by C ox. C ox is the oxide capacitance. So I have shown you here the oxide capacitance expression, which is actually oxide capacitance per unit area. I have explained already. And this is the depletion layer charge. So I have already said that for an NMOS it will be VT equal to phi ms plus 2 phi f plus QB by C ox minus this third term, Q ox by C ox. So you will find in many books it is written up to this much. They ignored this term, but this is an expression for the threshold voltage, which we will not use in this course, but it is important to know that what are the parameters. This VT is a device parameter. So while we are designing circuits, we have no control over VT. So it is already given, whatever the value is, it is already given to us. Now this is the output characteristics, where this term is known as linear region, and this is saturation region. Okay, however in BJT we said the major difference is this part is called saturation, because in this area, in case of BJT, both the junctions are forward biased, but in this case this part is known as saturation. So we will be operating in the saturation region, not in the linear region. So linear region also known as triode region. Somebody say, few people say ohmic region. Why people say ohmic region? Because there is a linear relationship between IDS and VDS. So you will find this part is ohmic. Then we have another area here, which is off state of the device, or cutoff, you can say. Okay, so I explained why this is off state. So your input here is VGS, which is different again from BJTs. In BJT you have input current. In this case you have input voltage VGS. And what is the input current here? 0. In ideal case it is 0 because you have an oxide sitting. If you see the terminal roughly, if you see the device and the gate terminal, this is gate, right? This is N plus, this is N plus. So this is your source, this is your drain, and you have an oxide. So if you apply a potential here, the current through this oxide will be almost 0. It should be ideally 0. However, there is some leakage current which is a problem. We will discuss maybe later, but in this course we will take, or in this case at least, we will take this input current is 0. We will take the ideal case. Then we have said, I already have discussed this linear mode and saturation mode operation. This is the expression in linear mode. This VDS square will be, this VDS square can be neglected because it is very small. When VDS is very small, this is the linear region, right? So this can be neglected. So you will find that IDS has a linear relationship with VDS. And in saturation, this is the expression. So there is another expression what you can write is lambda is equal to 1 by VA. Lambda is the saturation factor, and these are the relations. Whereas here lambda dash is a technology parameter. It is decided by the device people. So lambda is also a function of L. So we will see as we progress what are the different things. Okay. So I already have discussed and also said why NMOS is preferred, because your mu1 value is higher than mu p value. Here mu1 and mu p is the surface mobility, not the bulk mobility. Because here if you see the device, this is where the transport is occurring, the surface. So it is called surface mobility or surface transport. However, in bulk the expressions are different. I mean, not expressions, the values are different. For mu1 it is around 1350 or 1500, somewhere in between, and for mu p it is around 500, 600. Okay, so please keep that in your mind. Now today we will see what are the different parameters, important parameters we are interested in for MOSFET device. So of course, like BJT, we are interested in GM, we are interested in output resistance R0, and we are interested in capacitances. So we will see one by one what are those values. Okay, so for transconductance, we know GM is equal to delta IDS by delta VGS, that we have seen previously. So here this is output current by input voltage. So that is why we call it transconductance. So in linear region, let us find out what is the GM in linear region. If I replace the IDS value, which is given over here, mu Cox divided by VGS minus VT, which is also known as over voltage or excess voltage. So somebody write it VOV or VX. So this voltage is known as over voltage, and then we have VDS minus half VDS square, and this is the condition. So we have used the same thing, same expression over here, and as we know that VGS minus VT should be greater than VDS, this term can be neglected because in this case VDS is very, very small. Okay, so if you neglect this term and do this differentiation, what you will find, let us not take this term into consideration anymore. So you will find mu Cox W by L is constant. So mu n Cox W by L, this is NMOS, that's why we wrote mu n. So mu n Cox W by L came outside, and then if you do a differentiation of this is equal to 1. So you have mu n Cox W by L VDS, and here this mu n Cox can be written as beta n dash. Somebody write k n dash, in some book it is written k n dash. So it's up to you which symbol you are going to use. You can write k n dash as well, and then you have another term called beta n, which is equal to beta n dash into W by L. So this whole term can be written as beta n. So you can write in GM linear, mode, the value of Gm is beta n into VDS. Okay, or this beta n is written as Kn in some books or some literature. So this is basically the same thing. Okay, so just to explain a little more about this linear region, if you take this equation and plot this, let me give you some details about this linear region. If you take this equation and plot this, what is the expression that you are getting? Your IDS versus VDS plot. In your IDS versus VDS plot, this is X and this is Y. So you have IDS, which is Y, equal to, this is a constant, okay, this whole term is a constant. So you will find A VDS is X plus this is, or you can write minus B X square. This is the term. So you are actually plotting Y equal to AX plus B X square. So the B value here is minus half into this. So this is constant, so I am just replacing this as a constant B. Now if you plot this, you will find your characteristics something like this, and with different VGS minus VT, you will find the peaks are changing. How to find the peak? You just take a derivative of this and you will find that your VGS minus VT is actually giving the peak voltage. So up to this peak where VGS minus VT, where VDS is less than VGS minus VT, this is the condition, right, for linear region. This part is like this, and this part is known as linear or triode region. And if you go deep into this triode region, you will find they are almost like straight lines. If you see this, you will find they are almost like straight lines. Remember, this part is I represented with dotted line. This is not valid because once VGS minus VT, when VDS becomes greater than VGS minus VT, you enter into the saturation region, and your equation also changes because of device properties, because of device mechanism. Okay, so up to this much in the linear region, this is your equation and this is your curve, and that's why you see initially it is following one curve and then it changes to other. So you have two equations in linear and saturation. Okay, now if you take this equation and if you don't or neglect this term because VDS is very less, you end up with this equation. You will find, which is true in this deep triode region, this is perfectly true. That's why you see they are almost linear. So your IDS is linearly related to VDS, and from here if you calculate V equal to IR, the resistance is V by I. So this VDS by IDS will give you R on. So you remember this expression as well. Okay, so this is providing you the resistance in the linear region. So this is 1 by mu n Cox W by L VGS minus VT. So it depends on the VOV. Okay, so just to give you an idea, I have shown you this plot. Okay, now in saturation, your equation for current is this one. IDS equal to half into mu Cox W by L VGS minus VT whole square into 1 plus lambda ds. Okay, but for very small lambda, this one is almost equal to 1 because you can neglect this term for very small lambda. I already have said in previous slides. And this part you can replace with beta n by 2 or kn by 2. So I am using beta n by 2 in this case. So if you now take the GM value, which is del IDS by del VGS, just replace IDS over here. So you will get del VGS beta n by 2 VGS minus VT. So you will get VGS minus VT here, and 1 plus lambda VDS. Anyways, for very small value of lambda, we can neglect this term. Now we have only del by del VGS beta n by 2 into VGS minus VT whole square. Now if you take the derivative, beta is constant, it came out. So beta n by 2 will come out from, this is x square, right? Almost. This is like x square. So ddx of x square is 2x. So 2 will come and you will have this term left. So this 2 and 2 will get cancelled. Ultimately, what you will get? You will get beta n into VGS minus VT. So your GM is a function of VOV. Okay. Just to make it, just to put some known parameters into it, we made some adjustment in this equation. What is this? We made beta n by 2, then VGS minus VT whole square. As I have put 2 here, we have put another 2 over here, and as I have multiplied VGS minus VT, so I have put VGS minus VT in the denominator as well. So what you get? This part, this beta n by this part, sorry, beta n by 2 into this part is equal to IDS. If you look at in here, what is the value? If you neglect this term, we already have neglected because lambda is very small, we already said. Just replace this part by beta n by 2, you will find beta n by 2 VGS minus VT whole square is IDS. So you are actually having 2 IDS by VOV, replacing this as VOV. So you have 2 IDS by VOV. This is your expression. GM is in saturation region. We are working in saturation region, so we are more interested in this beta and this GM value. So this is actually 2 IDS by VOV. Just like BJT, this is also a function of IDS. So if you have a higher IDS, you are having greater GM value. But again, like BJT, a higher IDS value may drag you to the linear region in this case. Previously it was dragging into your saturation region and you are working in active region. Now you are working in saturation region. If you increase, it may drag into linear region, which is not desirable. Okay, and you can also replace this VG minus VT from here in this equation. Then you will get GM is equal to this expression, root over 2 beta n IDS. This is another expression. Okay, this is another expression. How did I get this? I just replaced VGS minus VT in this equation. I replaced VGN minus VT from this equation. So I first calculated VGS minus VT from this equation and replaced it here, and then you will find your GM value is 2 beta n IDS. Okay, these are the two expressions that are very important. So the next is the output resistance. So output resistance I already have discussed. If you have the output characteristics, you know the VA value. So your output resistance will be VA minus VA divided by IDS. So I already said, if you know your bias current, say this is IDS 1 and this is VDS 1. So this is IDS VA plus VDS 1 divided by IDS 1. However, this VDS 1 value is very small compared to VA, so you can neglect this and just directly put VA by IDS. I already have said 1 by lambda is equal to VA, so you can directly replace this value over here. So 1 by lambda into IDS. Again, lambda is lambda dash by L, so you can put the value of lambda here and you will get L by lambda dash into IDS. Why I shown this expression? I have shown you this expression to say that our output resistance is a function of L. So if you keep L very long, you'll get a very high output resistance. Okay. However, if you put L very long, what happens to your IDS? If you check here, your IDS will be very small, which is not desirable. You want a very high output resistance, but if you increase the L, your IDS is getting lower, your GM is getting lower, you are losing your gain. So what is the purpose of making an output resistance very high if your gain is very low, if your GM value is very low? So this is where you have to think. So you have to optimize what value should I put. Okay. So it's not like that, let's make L very big. I need a very high output resistance. Somewhere else you'll see the consequence. So you have to take care of all these terms.